What do people learn too late? Learning when to say no. Learning how to apologize when it's your fault and how to not apologize when it's not your fault. I'm absolutely guilty of the latter. Me, standing in line the grocery store. Guy walks up, shoves me aside, and grabs some gummy. Oh, sorry. My mom. Why are you apologizing? This guy just walked up, shoved you out of the way and grabbed something he didn't need when he could have just asked nicely. Me, a reflex. I don't really care either way. I should probably stop doing that. How to manage their finances. Lesson #1. $1,000 is not a lot to have, but it's a lot to owe. What not to share on the internet. I'm so grateful that my party years of 23 occurred in a pre-camera phone era. That you might be wrong sometimes. Some never learn. Edit, change they to you. I've discovered that my nature is to never accept that I'm wrong. I will give excuses, argue, but not accept. I've made it a resolution this year to just accept it when I'm wrong. The value of a good/unconditional friend. Had the same best friend since I was 2. Don't know where I'd be without her. How dangerous driving a car can be. This is very true. I survived 2 car accidents without any scratch in 3 months. Drive safe and remember, just because you have priority way, it doesn't mean that they will give it to you. Pay attention. Sometimes letting go of your priority is the way to avoid an accident. Edit, by priority way I meant right of way. I didn't know how was it called in English, so I written how I would say it in my language. Interest rates, credit cards, credit score, money saving techniques, 401k. In other words, anything that keeps you from being trapped by poor money management. I straight up had to go out of my way to take a personal finance class to learn half of this shiz, and that was like 2 months ago, and I already forgot most of it. That it's possible to do everything ducking right and still lose. Just life in it. Edit, I didn't know that was from Star Trek. I just know it from a comment on Reddit 6 months ago, and shiz is true. Chav Packard. How to communicate. Not communicating with my wife almost destroyed my marriage. I'm finally learning to tell my wife how I feel. That happiness usually comes from a diverse range of interests, hobbies, and commitments. You are not your job. Your romantic partner cannot be your everything, etc. It's so easy to get sucked into a life where your career is everything, or where you wrap your entire identity around your partner. There is nothing wrong with celebrating your loved ones and being close. And there is nothing wrong with caring about your job. You just need more to thrive. I see this so often in relationships. 2 people meet and fall in love. They each inspire one another based on their interests and achievements. It's part of what makes them fall in love. But slowly, over time, they let those hobbies go. Stress gets in the way. Bills pile up. And then one day they find themselves wondering why they ever loved this person in the first place. Instead of being sexy and interesting, they are just part of a routine. TLDR, diversify your interests and activities to be happy. Don't rely on a single person, hobby, or commitment to give you everything you need. Weave the tapestry of your life with many threads. Frasier. Social media can consume your life. It's not all real, and not everyone posting pictures is having a great time, and not every "I love you so much we should catch up" is genuine. Edit, alright, I had no idea this would blow up, but I have to add some stuff to clarify. I wrote this because of the impact social media has had on my family. My mom will all the time look at the pictures of her friends and complain and even cry about her own life. It isn't just her, because I know for a fact that everyone in our community thinks the same way. They live to take pictures and show off on Facebook. Someone else I know is wasting money on expensive items when they don't have enough of it, strictly to make a woman jealous on social media. For some people saying that it's not wrong to comment, you are right. There's nothing wrong with positivity under the pictures of girls. It's not okay when it's entirely fake, and if you don't know that someone can comment something nice and still hate your guts, you've gotta be new on earth. I have had so many rage-inducing people around me who are obsessed with social media and are letting it ruin their lives that I can't stand it. Except Reddit. Though they have never said they love me, the we should catch up gets me. I get excited, but it never happens. I never wait around for it, but I get excited nonetheless. Don't worry if you aren't living an exciting or extravagant life. It's okay to live simply and quietly. It doesn't mean that you're wasting your life. I'm the most boring person ever. I'm 30, never went out when I was younger, never bunked a day of school, got straight A's, never smoked a cigarette or anything else, never ever been tipsy, and I don't drink. I'm always at home crocheting, playing with my kids, gardening. I have about 4 friends, and no social media. I didn't really date, met my husband at 20 and got married. Didn't have a wedding, and I love getting a good bargain. But I feel like I'm living the most exciting life because it's my most authentic life, and I'm not changing the world, but I'm keeping my part of the world beautiful and clean. Edit to add that when my kids hug me or tell me I'm a nice mommy, that makes me feel I have a pretty good life. Another edit. Thanks you /Megalito262, you /Greenoob, and Anon for the awards. Yet another edit. What I did today. That they are terrible at parenting. Too late and won't admit it. The value of walking away from someone toxic in your life, even if it is your parents and family. If you are thinking of it and are scared and have somewhere where you can land in a safe place, then do it. It hurts like hell for a long while, but it gets better, and one day you realize how peaceful your life is, and you find you only miss the family you wish you had had. Yes. Also, find a support net, but for your own sanity, just avoid the topic with people who are curious. Not many people understand and will try to talk you into making up with your family. It's so hard in the beginning, but it gets much easier. You find your own people, create your own families, and your own peace. Don't ever think it's okay to talk to yourself in a manner you won't let another human being talk to you. The biggest abuser I ever had in my life was my constant companion, the thoughts in my head. We often take care to choose our words when correcting a child or friend. But if anyone had talked to me the way I talked to me for 30 straight ducking years, I would have murdered them. And probably got away with it too. Be nice to yourself. You're the only you have. My brain after reading that. Yeah, be nicer to yourself, you stupid duck. That some things can never be undone. The actions you take and the words you speak will come back around sooner or later. Yes, some words can never be taken back. I learned the hard way. This is why it's better to train yourself to think carefully before saying something. I didn't do that because I wanted everything to come naturally, but I realized that's just an excuse I used to avoid taking responsibility of things I said. Edit. I saw the replies and I understand the problems you guys mentioned. What I said is that the other person appreciates honesty and is open-minded, because some people won't understand regardless of what you say. It's best to avoid speaking with these people if possible, unless you have to. Things can become toxic pretty easily. Regardless, thinking carefully, analyzing the situation, and choosing your words carefully is an important life skill to have, and will definitely help you in the future. It can be pretty tiring to always have to think before you say something, but it's all a matter of practice. The more you do it, the more natural it becomes. Best tip is to wait 10 seconds before speaking, and do not let anger speak for you. Simple misunderstandings and emotions like anger ruin relationships. Try to cool off before making rash decisions. Putting effort is what's important. Results are bonuses. Edit 2. Small misunderstandings can ruin closest relationships. I'm not forbidding you guys to be what you are or always be the one to compromise. What I meant to say is that don't give in to anger and pride and let it make rash decisions for you. I have hurt my loved ones more than once, only to regret it later. I know how confusing and hard it can become. Just do your best to maintain inner peace. If the other person is being unreasonable, it's totally out of your hands. What matters is you did your part and you put in the effort because you value the relationship more than winning an argument. And sometimes you have to let go and forgive, even if you were right. Because no one lives forever and life is too short to be having fights. You don't have to agree with me, just having different perspectives can be beneficial. Not everyone is going to like you, no matter how hard you try. You could be the juiciest peach in existence, full of flavor. Yet there will still be those who don't like peaches. That most people will just help you, how and if they can, if you are honest with them. It seems like so many people feel the need to conceal what they actually want from you and try to get it by presenting a half-truth or what they think you want to hear, instead of just being straightforward. I can vouch for this. I know my parents loved me, but they sort of messed up bad with this one by making me feel like I could never directly approach them about anything I needed help on without also being vulnerable to them possibly being upset with me just for asking. I'd have to figure out a way to ask without asking or making up close to truth lies. Never felt good about those. This eventually led to me never reaching out when I needed help, and it took me years after moving out to be able to confront this problem just on an emotional level. If it hadn't been for some really incredible friends, I'd probably still be struggling with this. Sitting on your all day is not good for your health at all. Rolls over onto stomach instead. That it's never too late to learn. You really whipped out the reverse there. Saying I love you or wanting to reach out to your family, friends, and loved ones, but crippling anxiety stops you. You never know when it may be too late to say these things, so be in the moment and live/love in the present authentically. Also, to learn the difference between saying I love you as a statement and saying I love you but really meaning do you love me. It's fine to switch the real meaning from time to time. Everyone needs a little occasional reassurance. But if all my I love you utterances come from the latter, and especially the first one in a romantic relationship, I need to do some work of myself if I hope to have any quality relationships in my life. That dwelling in the past only wastes your present and shortens your future. But thank you for your contribution of this platform. That the cliche you never know when it's the last time you'll see to someone should absolutely be remembered for every occasion. My best friend just died in a car accident this past Saturday, and the last time I saw him, we got in an argument, and he left, and we didn't speak after that. I'm destroyed by AskReddit. Thank you all so much for the support, and for the awards. I do have a great support circle outside of this, but all these replies and condolences really shows the empathy complete strangers can have. My grandpa passed away 2 weeks ago from cancer. We flew to Saskatchewan, where he lives, and managed to see him. I talked with him and gave him a hug. Before we left, I had the feeling that I was never seeing him again. I snuck back into the room and gave him one last hug and told him that I will miss him. He died 6 hours later. I'm so grateful for whatever it was that told me to see him one last time before we went home. That hating people who are different makes you nothing but unhappy. Wow, isn't that the truth? That salary amount is not the entirety of an equation when deciding where to work. You have to take into account the cost of living, commute times, the safety of the nearby area, and the convenience of living in the area. Studies have shown that taking a 20-minute longer commute is as bad for your job satisfaction as a 19% pay cut. On top of that, wealth equals money in, money out. If a new job pays 20k more, but if rent/property prices are 30k more per year, you are taking a pay cut. On top of that, you have to consider your future. Do you have to move to an undesirable location to work there? Crammed in a little apartment, where the nearest services are an hour away? What about air quality? What about noise levels? Is this a place where you want to start a family and raise kids? All of those play a factor in determining the desirability of a job. I'm a firm believer that my job doesn't exist outside this city as a bullshit myth. Even if you're a super specialized rocket scientist with a PhD in orbital dynamics, NASA is not the only organization with a job opening for you. There are many more factors to that. Is this a job you really like? If you are making more money but hate the job, is it really worth it? You are spending most of your day and your life at that place. If that part of your life sucks, it will affect your mood and happiness a lot. And close to that, the work atmosphere. Are you getting along with your colleagues? Is your boss a decent person? The social part plays a big role and is often ignored. Mistakes have consequences. Sometimes they are huge consequences, such as a mistake while driving could kill yourself or someone else. Sometimes they're little consequences, but always learn from your mistakes, and that you should always be learning and improving yourself. Can you milk me, Foka? That no is a complete sentence. Don't get in the habit of auto-launching explanations and defenses. Oftentimes, the people listening will ignore all that anyway and just hear, but here's an opportunity to dissuade me. Look how hard I'm working to get your approval, to say no to you. What do I do when every time I say no I'm being told I have to reply with more words? How slippery a slope addiction is. How quickly trying something at a party turns into being hooked. Nicotine is a bitch. I know it's awful for me and my lungs, but I just keep on going back. How to not give a duck about how others see you. Seems simple enough for me now in my 20s, but back in high school there were many ducks given about how others saw me. Ironically, those people that didn't care how others saw them were often the more respected ones. Edit. Sorry, I should clarify. It's more about how to not give too many ducks, not none at all. This is more about when you worry too much about what you're wearing, only saying what's cool, only being seen with the cool people, only listening to the music that will make you seem cool. If, for example, you are 16 and already onto your 8th boyfriend and all your friends are telling you to focus on other things besides boys, then you definitely should give a duck about what they think. Also, there's a difference between not caring what people think and being a cheese-sucking taint monkey. Don't be an a-hole and try to pretend you are just telling it like it is. To protect their ears, you don't want to live with tinnitus for the rest of your life because you were exposed to a loud noise once. Learned this one too late. I can ignore it most of the time, but some nights. Pulling out is not an effective method for birth control. Don't be silly. Wrap your willy, don't be a rig. Put yours away. These sayings can prevent unplanned pregnancy. A cat on his back inviting a chesty rub is a trap. Nothing can stop me from trying. Many college degrees have no job market. Trade school is a financially solid option out of high school. This biggest regret in life equals going to college. I luckily got out of it with way less debt than most for my completely unmarketable degree, communications. In high school, I wanted to be an electrician. I was a musician and was fascinated with how amplifiers and whatnot work. I didn't even know that field is probably one of the most well-paid trades there is, because it's ducking dangerous. When I was 17, my parents told me, go to college or you aren't our son anymore. Off to college I went. I've since restarted in a totally different field, which I cold gotten into out of high school and would probably be in a cushy office position by now, but I'm doing okay. My story is a rare one though. There really shouldn't be people with master's degrees working at McDonald's, but this is the world we live in. The importance of writing skills for formal contexts. Writing is an important skill in nearly any field, and the more a career advances the more important it becomes. The lack of adequate writing skill often holds back a career. Yet many people squander their opportunities to learn writing because they think their claimants are empty busy work, and they figure their skills in spoken English and informal text messages will carry over when they need to write for work. I work in it and write emails all goddamn day. We work each other's support tickets, so I have to read emails my coworker sent to clients, and goddamn, do people slaughter the English language. Also, if I hear leave a message and I will get back to you at my earliest convenience. One more time I'm going to lose my ducking mind. That mental and emotional abuse are a real thing. Red flags. Sadly, if you grow up around that kind of behavior, you tend to believe that it's normal. Somebody I went to school with got mentally abused by his parents so much, and always used to get punished severely for poor grades. He was also denied basic freedoms though. Even when he became an adult he still wasn't allowed to go down to the local fish and chip shop without parental supervision, or go for a pint in the pub. He was also never taught basic life skills too. He's in his early 20s and is quite emotionally stunted to say the least. In fact, you'd think he was a teenager if you met him. The sad thing is, he doesn't recognize his parents are mentally abusing him. When he described his parents to me once, that's abuse. His response was, they don't hit me, so it's not abuse. At least with physical abuse it's more universally seen as wrong, but mental abuse tends to be more subtle, and it can be a real manduck. Edit. I should mention, He wasn't from India, by the way, he was from the UK, which is what made it more odd in my opinion. British families are not normally known for being this strict. I met his parents very briefly once, and they just felt off. I wasn't sure if they were mentally well, to be honest. One of my friend's parents called CPS to their home once, but because there were no signs of physical abuse, CPS didn't bother anymore. How short life is. To be fair, this quote generally has the tendency to encourage behaviors that make life even shorter. The importance of education. As a kid, you always hear generic statements like, "This will help your career," but nothing specific enough to be useful. I feel this hard with math. There's a lot of things I learned in high school that are now super useful in third year engineering classes, but I had no idea why I needed to learn it at the time. That cutting toward yourself is a bad idea. That cutting yourself is a bad idea. That COVID-19 is real. Best not to learn this in the IQ. That being mean to people will get you nowhere. On a personal level, I completely agree. Unfortunately, the cynic in me has seen far too many assholes doing well in life to know this isn't necessarily true. To not stick insert object into insert different dangerous object. Do not stick hand in mouth alligator. Got it? The view from halfway down. A load of the lessons in BoJack Horseman would apply in this. 2 words. Flared base. I don't get it. Anyways, gotta run. I'm putting up some curtains, naked, on a stepladder, above a basket of orchard fruit and vegetables. Save your goddamn money. Edit. Nearly 70% of Americans have less than $1,000 stashed away, according to Gobbanking Rate's 2019 savings survey. That's goddamn wrong. The deflector shield will be quite operational, but my friends will be arriving soon. That's being wrong, and changing your mind is actually nothing to be ashamed of. Edit. Now I finally get to write that sentence too. Thanks for the award, kind stranger. How to emotionally regulate. How to emotionally regulate what? Would you ducking answer? That it's more important to appreciate your body for what it can do, rather than what it looks like. It can bust open the buttons on my pants since quarantine started. That they are responsible to unduck their lives. No one else. Take care of your teeth. People still don't believe me when I say that bad teeth can easily lead to cardiac arrest. That you can't stop me. Alright, fine, I'll start you instead. That friendships and relationships should never be so difficult to be in that it drains you of joy or throws you into depression. And if you are that depressed friend that keeps losing connections with meaningful people, it's never too early to get help. Even if you think you can beat it, it's temporary, or you don't deserve it. Toxicity in any person is inevitable as people grow and change. What separates the toxic people from others is that they refuse to, or are unable to recognize their own toxic patterns, and cannot change their toxic behaviors when they negatively impact others. And learn your own issues. Do self-work. You're always going to be better for it. To appreciate their youth. I do, but on the flip side it makes me terrified of aging. Setting and respecting boundaries. How to give a genuine apology and other such communication 101 skills. Their limits when it comes to drinking alcohol. Knowing when to not be nice. Please help me to understand when not to be nice. Removed. To stop being afraid of asking or pursuing the things you want in life. Exactly. You miss 100% of the shots you don't take. You don't need your ears to listen to yourself. That nobody will be a better advocate for you than yourself, especially when it comes to your health, mental and physical health. Don't wait for somebody else to do it. You'll have to do it yourself eventually. You are your biggest limitation. Silence is golden. Edit. Thank you for my first award. It means a lot. When they are in the good times. It's only when you look back and reminisce that you realize how good you had it. I make an overt effort to realize how lucky I am and how much fun I'm having when I'm in those moments. I'm weird though and think about death far too often for someone in their 30s. how soul crushing, unproductive, impotent, and wasteful worrying about things is. How to not get ducked planning a wedding. How to use their turn signals in a car. You are the master of your own head, the big boss of Braintown, the alpha of beta thoughts. You shouldn't let stray thoughts or feelings control your life. It's perfectly okay to disconnect yourself from them and control your mental state. You are not your thoughts. You are the awareness of your thoughts. Too many people these days don't understand that. They let their thoughts control them, unquestionably. The ability to tell your own brain, hey, duck off, stop doing that, is so irrevocably powerful that it's frustrating how many people don't understand that you can do that. I think it's a realization that has to come through your own little epiphany. Deleted. People say this like it's some life-changing secret, but if you gave me some sushi and willingly said here's some horseradish mustard you can put on it, I'd still eat it. 1. The purpose of our lives is to be happy. Dalai Lama 2. Life is what happens when you're busy making other plans. John Lennon 3. Get busy living, or get busy dying. Stephen King 4. You only live once, but if you do it right, once is enough. Me West 5. Many of life's failures are people who did not realize how close they were to success when they gave up. Thomas A. Edison 6. If you want to live a happy life, tie it to a goal, not to people or things. Albert Einstein 7. Never let the fear of striking out keep you from playing the game. Babe Ruth 8. Money and success don't change people, they merely amplify what is already there. Will Smith 9. Your time is limited, so don't waste it living someone else's life. Don't be trapped by dogma, which is living with the results of other people's thinking. Steve Jobs 10. Not how long, but how well you have lived is the main thing. Seneca 11. If life were predictable it would cease to be life and be without flavor. Eleanor Roosevelt 12. The whole secret of a successful life is to find out what is one's destiny to do and then do it. Henry Ford 13. In order to write about life first you must live it. Ernest Hemingway 14. The big lesson in life, baby, is never be scared of anyone or anything. Frank Sinatra. One thing they all have in common, they're all rich. That it's okay to enjoy yourself in college when you are still young. Safe fun, of course. Your experience helps you in life and grades ain't jizz if you come out graduated with no clue how real life and people work. Silence is golden. Seriously, the amount of people who spout crap that no one cares about just to hear themselves talk. Money is a tool, not a life goal. There are no rules. There are laws, but there are no rules. You can do anything you want and however you want. Don't be afraid to let go once in a while and have ice cream for dinner or stay up all night. You can live your life how you want, and there's no rule that says you can't. That you can save 15% or more on your car insurance by switching to GEICO. That luck is a huge factor. A lot of people go their whole lives thinking simply hard work gets you to the top. That's the farthest from the truth. Hard work can get you places, but not to the top without luck. Sorry, that's just life. Or sucks, but that explains all the shorty people at the top of the food chain. They just got damn lucky. Only a few are mostly hard work. That it's okay to lose toxic people, then lose yourself. That it's okay to be not okay, get help and take care of your mental health. And that it's okay to make mistakes and try again. Failure happens and it's part of a learning process. Never be afraid of failing. In the same line, being wrong about something and changing your mind is okay. College isn't the only option. There aren't actually any hot singles in your area. You didn't look in the mirror. Figuring out my career. Oh my, you watched until the end? That's fucking awesome, dude. Thanks for watching.